Several months ago, Doug had asked me about bowl gouge, but the first question he asked was, have you ever turned a bowl? And I hadn't turned a bowl in probably 6 years. So I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I probably should practice a little. So the other night I went out and that's koa. That is without finish. That'll have some chatoyance to it. That's fantastic. That was turned 100% bowl gouge. I did try, Ralph had shown me a new way to use the bowl gouge. You use it like a skew, which I thought was really fascinating. We're going to try and do the inside of a bowl today with only a bowl gouge. In the competition, the challenge that's been issued, I would advise you to turn more of that style bowl than this style bowl. Okay? The reason being, when you have a flat bottom in a narrow opening with a bowl gouge, it's going to be tough to get in there and tough to get the right angle. That's really pretty easy. And if you notice, I got a good curve to it, so I can follow the curve. I think the wall thickness should be pretty consistent. That'll go on a vacuum pump, and I'll take the bottom off shortly. Okay. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes. You know, a while back, the last 2 meetings, we talked about Easy Wood Tools. Easy Wood Tools was sold again last month, October 20th. They closed on it. Carter did not buy it. Carter took the option to make their own. So as of this week, Carter Products will have a complete line of carbide tools. First tools will be shipped Wednesday. Woodcraft has bought all of them and made a huge commitment. So if you're looking for carbide tools, carbide cutters, we now have a local source. I will be working with them on a couple of to see what we can do. Now, yeah, I did not wear my kilt today. The wind was a little brisk.
Man up here.
And I noticed none of you guys wore a skirt today either, okay? Now, for those of you who may not have been here the last couple months, we did do a Bowl Gouge 101, talked about the grind, the different grinds, the flute, and how to introduce the tool. The following month, we did some shaping on the outside, how to get a fine cut. I might even show you how Ralph did the outside of his and using it like a skew.
Those two cameras look at the piece.
Then we're going to go inside.
Okay.
First, a number of you brought bowl gouges. We are going to do hands-on right after this. I'd like you all to step up and take part. Those of you who want to help, please step up to the lathe and help whoever needs it.
Okay. Yeah, then you can zoom in a little bit and get his head.
That's not the power shirt.
Okay.
Too bright?
Perfectly there. Okay. He showed up in his hand.
Let's see.
Get it. I Okay. think you'll be able to. Okay.
It's too bright. Is that any better?
Now, the outside of this is fairly rough. We had a problem getting planks ready. I was out of town until last night. That's at about 1,000 RPM. The cut that Ralph showed me was to lay my gouge here.
Light over there.
Okay, and come down through here. I've practiced this some. It's not going to be easy on a natural edge. Generally, it eliminates the tear down. of oak. I can't remember the last time I turned a piece of oak, or why I would have.
Is that called a shear cut?
Yes. And that had tremendous tear out. Now that I've gotten it a little flat, I'll go back to Ralph's. That home might be turning much faster. Take the vibration out.
Ron, just mention the fact that normally you want to try and work from the bottom up on the
Yeah.
outside, bottom up.
Bottom up.
Distort the grain.
Given, I had the straws here last time. Some of you remember the grain and how you're bending the straws versus cutting the straws. If you're cutting up the hill, one straw supports another straw behind it, okay? And it helps prevent the tear out. So I probably could go. And I probably wouldn't have to start with number 2 grit, okay? Now, let's go inside. Let's take this out of here.
You can slide the motor this way.
Yeah, I can slide the motor that way either. Thank you. And we'll bring that light back.
Get his hands. And then when he's done, you can zoom back.
Okay.
Right now, in the room, we can all see it, but when I make a video, you can't see what he's talking about. So-
Peter,
Okay. Yeah.
as long as you're not busy, could you give me a cup of coffee?
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime. Cream?
Now, the one thing that gets awkward when you do a bowl, and this has already happened here, especially on a natural edge bowl, I would take my parting tool to decide what's the width of my sidewall gonna be, okay? And then I'll plunge cut to the very bottom of where the natural edge goes. Now I got down to a smooth cut, and what that does, it allows me to take my bowl gouge and go in, and now I can ride the bevel. If you start out here, remember we talked about skate, and if you don't close the face, the flute, you tend to get skate. Centrifugal force is going to throw you out. See if I can make it happen. When you want it to happen, it won't. But when you don't have a bevel to ride, centrifugal force pulls you away. So now that I've got a place to ride the bevel, I can just start coming down through here. When you get down, pull it on your cut. Now, when I do the inside of a bowl, I like to keep a mass higher. I want the weight and strength. Then I start to work down my sidewall. And I'll work the sidewall to the thickness I want. Go back down further, get the sidewall exactly the thickness I want. I did that with that piece of koa and just kept working my way down through. Again, I'm turning about 2 o'clock, 2:32. As you get inside, the lathe or the piece of wood's moving terribly slow. We're only at 1,500 RPM. Now, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to start working my sidewall. Now, you can only go so far because I'm open. I'm about 1 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. If I go in here at 1 o'clock, it's a catch cut. So as I get towards the bottom, I roll my screw over. Now I'm going to come back, come down the sidewall, open my flute a little, make sure I don't get to the bottom, close my flute, and continue to ride down. Again, ride your double, 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
As you work your way down, how do you maintain a uniform?
Wall thickness.
Just with the,
Like on the co-op piece, wherever it's at, I actually use calipers on that.
Okay.
Usually these are the calipers I carry with me. They're generally pretty accurate, and you get a feel for any lumps and bumps. Personally, I don't like using calipers. You know, your hands compute to your mind better than a piece of metal does. And inside now, it's fairly smooth, and if I want to smooth it some more, I will drop my tool down. Drop the handle down. Introduce my tool. Again, I'm more forward now, and I'm going to come right up the side. And with a natural lead tool introduction and withdrawal of your tool is everything. And it's pretty smooth. I mean, I'd be happy with it. I'll continue to go down through here a little bit. Trying to take the latest that I can, ride the bevel, 1 o'clock, come around to 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then start the hog. You can see the width of the shavings determines the cut. These are angel hairs. I don't know how big these others were, but they're fairly sizable. But you take this side, the interior gently, I've got a hump right there. You probably can't see it, but there's a hump. Oh, great idea, buddy. So we'll take that hump off right there. Can you see it in the pictures? No. Right here. Yeah. See it? Let's see if we can take that out of there. I'm sorry?
Is that a lower wing scrape you're doing on that edge there?
No, I'm right on the point.
You're right on the point.
Right on the
Okay,
point.
thank you.
Yeah, right on. You can roll it over to get your final cut on the bottom side, scraper side. Here's the scraper side. Cut both directions. If you cut both directions, you tend to feel your highs and lows. That's not bad. Questions, comments? The bottom of this will be very difficult with a bowl gouge. And I didn't bring a small enough bowl gouge probably to do this. It's only 2.5 inches. You'd have to come to the end of the lathe, drop your bowl gouge down to go across the bottom. Yeah, Phil. Mr. Bowl.
You have a different bowl gouge that's, you just got the Irish right now. It's just got almost square at the end, then you can get the bottom of the bowl.
Yes.
It's easier. Now, maybe that's cheating because now you got 2 bowl gouges instead of 1, but.
I heard the challenge was any bowl gouge. Use all your bowl gouges. I have 4 different styles.
I had 7, I just threw 2 away. Okay. I got too short to sharpen, so they're gone. Yeah, and we did this in the last demo. I had another traditional grind, which is this one. This is the traditional grind. And it will allow you to get into smaller, tighter places, okay, to go across the bottom. That will be your biggest challenge in this challenge, is going across the bottom,
Pull back just a little. Yeah, there you go.
okay? And I think what I'd like to do is have anybody that wants to step up to a lathe and turn is what we should do. This is meant to be hands-on. I could have that bowl done in about 15 or 20 minutes. The Koa bowl took me about 45 minutes top to bottom. Because I love my spindle, or my bowl gouge. And I just think it leads you to other tools and how to properly cut. We're ready to cut, make shaving?
Has it only been since you had the hack demonstration that you eased the bottom edge?
Yes. Yeah, at the retreat, Johannes was there. And I know the philosophy behind it is when you're coming through to the bottom, what will happen, see if we can get this on camera, is I approach the bottom, the heel of my bowl gouge wants to hit. Okay, so it rides the cutting edge away from the cut. Okay, so what you do is you go in and you take the heel off. Okay, you see the grind here? Okay, I took the heel off. Now I did that in 2 different grinds. If you remember, I put a rubber band on the V groove where your tool rests. So it allowed me to move out without losing control of my flute. So yeah, and that will help in the round bottom.
It's just interesting because I've seen all your tools ground that way.
I decided to, I do almost all hollow form. So there's not a lot of benefit to it, but I have. It does help you turn things. You're not walking away from your work.
And it also keeps you from occasionally, you actually bruise the bottom.
Yes.
You can't sand that compressed wood out.
It is surprising that if you press too hard on a piece of wood, even though you've made a good cut, that mark won't come out. Unless you're willing to take a 1/4 inch off, if you got a 1/4, okay? Yeah, you are bruising it. And you can bruise a piece to the point where if I'm hollowing and I bruise too badly on the inside, it'll show through to the outside. Depends on the thickness of my wood again, okay? Any other questions? Jessica?
You ever drill out the center of the bowl before you start turning?
Not the 3 bowls I did this year. I don't do bowls. Now, in a house form, I'll drill right straight through to the bottom. Yeah. And there are people out there that will drill to the bottom of a bowl. But once you've mastered the bowl gouge, you're wasting your time with the drill, to be honest with you. You really are. I don't think there's any tool made today that works the way the bowl gouge does. I love it. Good question, because I've seen guys drill them out. George?
There's something, you can't do it here because you've got your yard up there. It's not illegal to go around on the backside of the lathe to give yourself some clearance for that handle.
That is correct. Or go to the end of the lathe where you work all the way around your bowl. And really, if you're going to be a bowl, there are bowl lathes out there where it just hangs out, your bowl hangs out over the edge, and you can work all the way around it. Okay? You know, a lot of people get nervous when you put your arm that far away from your body and go down the side of a wall. Okay? Because you really need to have a good hold of it. I mean, it's not a death grip, but if you get a catch out here, trust me, it's going to be awkward as hell.
You don't have your body to stabilize.
Exactly. You have no mass there going against all that force. But as long as you're making a good cut, and it's a light cut, I wouldn't go in that far away from my body and be making a real hog cut. And I don't think I did there. I mean, I was away from my body, but I didn't really hog anything. But yeah, George is right. You can work either side of the lathe. It gets a little awkward too when you're on the other side of the lathe and your body's between you and the lathe, unless you can turn the other way, which I can too. I like turning both ways, left-handed, right-handed.
Ron?
Yes,
Can
sir.
I add a couple?
Sure, absolutely. This is Mr. Bowl.
Turn a lot of balls.
That doesn't have a good grind on it.
That's okay, it's not so much fun. But sometimes, running your bowl gouge in here and kind of working it around here like that, you can take this, stick it as far close to the end as you can get, so you're standing at the end of the lathe instead of over here.
Then you got a bowl lathe.
Yeah, then you got a bowl lathe.
Yeah.
But boy, I tell you, it sure takes a lot less effort to do it that way. The other option is to slide this all this way, take this stuff off of here, and then sit on the lathe. Put, ride it like a horse. Okay? It just makes sense.
But if you get a catch, you got a handle that's on the sail, that's going to end up in your crotch.
But if you're out here, and Ron is showing a little way that I do this. If you stand here and you take this hand and put it here, and you put this like that, and put that elbow in here, that tool's not going to go many places. You got it in a triangle there, and it's about as strong as it's going to be. Now to make the cut, you don't even move this. You just do this, back and forth.
It's not hand movements, it's body
And you
movements.
really have incredible control. The other thing is when you get to do this, where you're, well, I'm going to do it out here, because that's a little hard to hold up. If you're doing the cutting, normally you're down here just 1/8 inch from the tip on either side, depending on which way you're going. But when you want to do this nice cut where you're shear cutting and you're lining this thing up where it's this edge right here, it's doing a shear cut and then you get really angel hair fitting or cuttings off of it. Then you get it in there and you just move your body like that. You don't change it. Don't change that cutting angle. You want to maintain that cutting angle. It's just a barely, if you put it like this, it's not cutting anything. But when you turn it around like that, and you're on the outside of the bowl, now you're just barely getting that edge to cut. Over here, it's not cutting. Does that make sense? As soon as you rotate this over, you're taking that bevel, and you're riding the bevel, it's not cutting, but as soon as you rotate this over, and get that edge exposed, now you're starting to cut. And you just want that little minor angel hair cut by doing that shear. It's not up here like this, it's down here like this. Make sense?
That's a shear cut, not a shear scrape.
It's a shear cut, not a scrape.
Straight.
The scrape And, you know, there's a well-known wood turner. He doesn't do it this way, he does it this way. And now it's more of a scrape than a cut.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference in, that's why we got some
If
different
it's
wood
scrape,
turners.
if it's scrape though, you have a much more higher probability of getting zero
Yeah.
as opposed
This,
to that sheer
this
cut.
way, the shear cut, you're kind of riding the bevel, and it's a fine edge of riding the bevel versus cutting.
Now, it's
Your
big,
attention, because that's,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of very sharp edge.
yeah.
And if you take a deep breath or.
And roll it over too far.
Slight
This is the
crack
way
in
it
it,
goes.
yeah. As,
Rick was talking about,
yeah, as beginners,
yeah.
don't get hung up on shear cut, scrape cut, make a good cut, okay? And once you start to make continuous good cuts and learn the body movement, Mark Soule out of Atlanta, Georgia teaches how to dance with a finial. And he hardly moves his hands, it's all in the body. And when you get the right stance, and you got the three-pointed stance, and we went through this in Bowl Gouge 101, the stance is what allows you to start to dance. And it's the hip. Okay, it's having that against your hip, and you really learn how to ride the bevel.
There's another point too. When you want to establish the depth, biggest daggone Forster bit you can come up with to drill that hole with the Forster bit stuck in a tailstock, it just oodles the time away from your turning, but it makes it so much easier because you don't got that center nib in there left, and you got a great big hole instead.
But then you got a navel you got to take out. In doing hollow forms, my big hollow forms, I got a 3-inch Forstner bit, and it's interchangeable blades. I've quit using it. It develops so much torque that I can't keep my pieces running true. So I've gone back to 1-inchers, even though I have to do more hogging. So keep that in mind. You know, if you got a real small piece like this, and you're running a 2-inch Forstner bit in there, it's going to bind it up. It's going to torque it all over the place. So if you're going to use a Forstner bit on something like that, you know, 1/2-inch bit would work. I buy carbides. My carbides are 2 years old.
Yeah, a carbide Forstner bit, that's really the way to go.
Yeah, and they can't be
It lasts
fast.
forever.
George.
You're talking about your stances and your cuts and everything. It also depends on your lathe being the right color.
Yes, and this is too tall for me.
And a lot of people don't really understand that.
It's, you know, we went through that in Bowl Gouge 101. This, I need to have the center at elbow height, okay? This is 2 to 3 inches taller than what it should be. So it doesn't allow, I'm instead of being here, I'm turning here, okay? I can't get to here because I can't reach it. And I sure as hell ain't standing on my toes for an hour and a half trying to get to it. I built a platform for mine. It's on 2x4s, 3/4-inch plywood, so I got up to the right height. It is just imperative you be at the right height. You'll have a stiff neck, you're going to be sore, you're not going to be able to get up over your work and see your work, and you're not going to be able to get to a 3-point stance. It just won't happen. Okay? Again, these are, it doesn't seem like it's important, and I know after the last hands-on when we started, I said make sure you pick a lathe that's height appropriate. You know, we got one back there for Darrell Bell that looks like it's up on for a 7-footer.
They're all up.
They're on stands, okay?
We got it.
We gotta take them down off the wheels, but if you're gonna turn and you wanna play, get to the right height lathe. And get with a mentor. I haven't picked any mentors. I know the guys that step up, and Ralph and Jeff and whoever else. So you're ready to turn? Make some shave.